Reading about contents of the CRA public file, and I'm at a list of bank branches, their street address, geographies, a list of branches open and closed by the bank during the current year, and each of the 2 prior calendar years, their street addresses and geographies, a list of services including hours of operation, available loan and deposit products and transaction fees generally offered at the bank's branches, and descriptions of material differences in the availability or cost of services at particular branches, if any. At its option, the bank may include information about the availability of alternate systems for delivering retail banking services, for example, ATMs. A map of each assessment area showing the boundaries of the area and identifying the geographies contained within the area, either on the map or on a separate list, and any other information the bank chooses. The things that I skipped here was basically the regulator's assessment and then comments from the public. Additional requirements for large banks. In addition to other information maintained, large banks must include the following in their public files. A bank CRA disclosure statement must place in the file within 3 business days of its receipt by the bank. And if the bank elected to have any consumer loans considered under the lending test, the number and date of loans to low, moderate, middle, and upper income individuals located in low, moderate, middle, and upper income census tracts and located inside the bank's assessment area and outside the bank's assessment areas. Additional requirements for banks subject to HMDA. A bank required to report under HMDA must include a copy of the HMDA disclosure statement in its public file for each of the prior calendar years. Also, a bank that elects to have its regulatory agency consider mortgage loans on an affiliate must include the affiliate's HMDA disclosure statement for the prior 2 calendar years. The HMDA disclosure statement must be placed in the file within 3 business days after its receipt. Additional requirements for small banks. A small bank with total assets of less than $1.16 billion must include its loan-to-deposit ratio for each quarter of the prior calendar year, and at its option, any additional data on its loan-to-deposit ratio. If a small bank elects to be evaluated under the lending investment and service tests, the bank must include the information in its public files that is required for large banks. Additional requirements for banks using strategic plans. If a bank has been approved to be evaluated under a strategic plan, it must include a copy of the plan with any confidential information eliminated. Additional requirements for banks but less than satisfactory ratings. A bank that received less than a satisfactory rating on its most recent CRA examination must include a description of its current efforts to improve its performance in helping to meet community credit needs, and this information must be updated quarterly. And last, all information in the public files must be current each year as of April 1. Availability of public information. A bank must make the following information available to the public for inspection on request and at no cost. At the main office, and if the bank has offices in more than one state, at one branch office in each state, the entire contents of its public file, and at each branch office, a copy of the public section of the bank's most recent CRA performance evaluation and list of services provided by the bank, and within 5 calendar days of request, the contents of the public file relating to the assessment area where the bank is located. Copies must be provided to any person requesting them for a reasonable fee not to exceed the cost of copying and mailing. Public notice. A bank must provide in the public lobby of its main office and each branch in the public notice required in Appendix B of the regulation that informs the public of the availability of CRA public information and the rights of the public to participate in the CRA process. Performance standards. The regulatory agencies evaluate the bank's CRA performance on the basis of several performance standards. Large banks are evaluated under the lending, investment, and service tests, or may choose the strategic plan option. The strategic plan option is available only if the bank has been operating under it for at least 1 year. Wholesale and limited purpose banks are assessed under a special community development test, or they may choose the strategic plan option. Small banks may choose among 3 options: a small bank test, the lending, investment, and service test, or the strategic plan option. Performance context. The regulatory agencies apply the test and consider proposed strategic plans in the context of demographic data on median income levels, distribution of household income, nature of housing stock, housing costs, and other relevant data pertaining to a bank's assessment area, information about lending, investment, and service opportunities in the investment assessment area, and the bank maintains or that is obtained from groups within the community or government agencies, products offered by the bank, and the bank's business strategy as provided by a bank, bank size and financial condition of the economic climate within the bank's assessment areas, the bank's past performance and the performance of other similarly situated lenders, and the bank's public file and written comments about the bank's performance, and any other information deemed to be relevant by the agency. A bank is not required to make loans or investments or to provide services that are inconsistent with safe and sound operations. Lending, investment, and service test. Lending test. Scope. Evaluation of the bank's record of helping to meet the credit needs of the assessment area through lending violations. Activities. Includes considerations of the bank's home mortgages, small business loans, small farm loans, community development lending, and consumer loans, either at the bank's option or if the level represents a substantial majority of the bank's business. Originations and purchases of loans are considered, as well as any other data the bank provides, for example, commitments, letters of credit. Bank may request that the regulatory agency consider loans originated or purchased by a consortia or third parties in which the bank has invested, assuming the loans meet the community development test. Performance criteria. Lending activity. B. Performance criteria. I. Lending activity. Number and amount of home mortgages, small business loans, small farm loans, and consumer loans, if applicable, within the bank's assessment area. Geographic distribution. Number 2, distribution of the bank's home mortgages, small business loans, small farm loans, and consumer loans, if applicable, based on loan location, including proportion of the bank's lending in its assessment areas, dispersion of the lending in the bank's assessment area, and number and amount of loans in low, moderate, middle, and upper income geographies in the bank's assessment area. Borrower characteristics. The characteristics of the bank's home mortgages, small business loans, small farm loans, and consumer loans, if applicable, based on borrower characteristics, including the number and amount of home mortgages to low, moderate, middle, and upper income individuals. Small businesses and small farm loans to businesses and farms with gross annual revenues of $1 million or less. Small business and small farm loans by loan amount at origination, and consumer loans, if applicable, a low, moderate, middle, and upper income individuals. Community development lending. Complexity and innovativeness of community development loans. Community development includes activities that promote economic development by financing small businesses, farms, community or tribal child care, educational, social, health services targeted to low to moderate income areas, innovative or flexible lending practices, the use of these practices in a safe and sound manner to meet credit needs of low or moderate income individuals or geographies. Affiliate lending. If the bank chooses, the regulatory agency will consider loans made by an affiliate of the bank if the bank provides the data. However, the loans are subject to the following restrictions. Only one affiliate may claim a loan origination or purchase, and if the bank elects to have a particular lending category considered by an affiliate in a certain assessment area, the agency may consider all loans within that category made by all of the bank's affiliates within that assessment area. Lending by a third party or consortium Community development loans originated or purchased by a consortium or third party involving the bank will be considered the bank's option if the appropriate data are collected and made available. Such community development loans may be allocated among participants or investors as they choose, except that no participant or investor may claim a loan or purchase if another claims the same loan or purchase, or may claim loans accounting for more than its percentage share of the loans. Investment test scope. This test evaluates the bank's record to helping to meet the community credit needs of its assessment area through qualified investments. Requirements. Activities considered under the lending or service test may not be considered under the investment test. The bank may choose to have the investments of its affiliates reviewed if another institution does not claim the investment. Performance criteria pursuant to the following: the dollar amount of qualified investments, the innovativeness or complexity of qualified investments, the responsiveness of qualified investments to credit needs, and the degree to which the qualified investments are not routinely provided to private investors. Greater regional area. An investment need not have an immediate or direct benefit to the institution's assessment area to be qualified as investment, provided the organization or activity covers geographies that include the institution's assessment areas. Service test scope. This test evaluates the bank's record of helping to meet the credit needs of its assessment areas by analyzing both the availability and effectiveness of the bank's systems for delivering retail banking services and the extent and innovativeness of its community development services. Requirements. Community development services must benefit a bank's assessment areas or a broader region that includes the areas. At the bank's option, the regulatory agency will consider the community development services provided by an affiliate of the bank if another institution does not claim the service. Retail, Section C, retail banking performance criteria includes current distribution of the bank's branches among low, moderate, middle, and income level geographies, the bank's record of opening and closing branches, the availability and effectiveness of alternative systems, for example, ATMs, loan production offices, telephone banking, internet banking, etc., for delivering retail banking services in low and moderate income geographies and to low and moderate income individuals, and the range of services provided in low, moderate, middle, and upper income geographies, and the degree to which the services are tailored to meet the needs of these geographies. Community development services performance criteria include service that has as a primary purpose community development, relates to the provision of financial services, and has not been considered in evaluation of the bank's retail banking services. Criteria: the extent to which the bank provides community development services and the innovativeness and responsiveness of community development services. Subsection C, wholesale or limited purpose bank. Community development test scope. Let me go with you.
What? Oh, no.